It's the Playhouse Podcast with Kat and JJ.
Can't believe it. I missed everything.
Missed the show?
What am I going to do?
Check out the Daily Podcast.
Let's say you decided to get your man parts a little sun one day in your backyard. It's fully fenced in, and a little neighbor girl walks in. Whose problem is this? We had the exact same thing happen to a listener named Brett, and you got to hear how this shakes out coming up in the podcast.
I have not, thankfully. But what is the hardest call that you've had to make to your parents is what we're going to talk about. Inspiring this topic is this woman that, thank God it was a prank called her dad here.
This is a collect call from the Los Angeles County Jail for Alexis Ray Driscoll. To accept this call, please press 1 and your call will be connected.
Dad,
What?
I'm in jail.
What are you talking about? You're in jail. What happened?
I thought this cop was cute, and I tried getting his number. Then I tried kissing him. I've been in jail since last night, and this is the only time I've been able to call someone.
Alexis, why would you do that? A cop on duty went to kiss him? Come on. I mean, this is getting out of control. Enough is enough.
He was hot. I don't even know where Julia is. I think she was, involved, too. She was filming.
I've been trying to tell you guys in these videos, just for views and stuff like that, is it really worth it? I mean...
It is worth the views sometimes, okay?
No, it's worth the view, and now you're in the clink.
Now you're in the clink.
Yeah, now you're in the... So, I want to know, hardest call you had to make to your parents. I'll tell you the call I had to make to my mom, and to this day, I'm just like, I can't imagine how she felt when I did make the call, about it. I could tell in her voice. She was just like, really? And that's the worst, when they're disappointed.
I can feel the disappointment of the story that I'll have to tell you, too.
You know her voice, too. She's like, damn it. And then you hear the lump in her throat. I couldn't.
Based on this prank call, we thought we'd go fishing this morning for the worst call you've had to make to your parents. And again, this was just a girl messing with her old man.
This is a collect call from the Los Angeles County Jail for Alexis Ray Driscoll. To accept this call, please press 1 and your call will be connected.
Dad,
What?
I'm in jail.
What are you talking about? You're in jail. What happened?
I thought this cop was cute, and I tried getting his number. Then I tried kissing him. I've been in jail since last night, and this is the only time
He just starts going on and on about, if you guys are filming this stuff for views, I told you about that. And isn't that your parents' first reaction? I told you! They always tell you not to do. So what was the toughest call you ever had to make to mom and dad?
So, on Christmas Day, I got the big red bow on top of the brand new Ford Focus, right? It was a great gift for the holidays. So it was a slick week the next week. And I slid right into my neighbor's metal bumper on the back of his Jeep. We were getting in line to go up to school. And so I was sitting with that guilt all day at school. And finally, after school, I knew I was going to see my mom an hour later. And I'm like, I got to buffer this. I can't drive up and tell her in person. So I had to call her and tell her this brand new car that she got me. So it didn't wreck the bumper. There was too much pressure. And so on the hood, this huge indent happened. And it was just so ugly. And they weren't able to pop it out from underneath. And I just felt so bad. I'm like, they just spent their hard-earned money on this car, and I wrecked it within 6 days. So that was a really hard call to make. I felt bad.
Well, when I was 4, this is the first time I had to call my parents from the cop shop.
Oh, my God.
When I was 14, I went to, it was an outdoor festival, like a county fair, and I think the Johnny Home Band was playing. And
has he been around for 1,000 years?
He has his class picture with Jesus. He's been doing it for so long. So anyways, we're there, and a scuffle breaks out.
Okay.
And I've never my dad always described it as you're born with fight or flight. He goes, you got way too much of one and not enough of the other.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the fight was about. I just saw guys fighting. And I jumped in and I was part of this and I got pulled out by a police officer.
Yeah.
Who knew who my dad was. My dad didn't exactly have the cleanest nose in the county back in the day. And so we drive to the police station. There was 6 of us in the cop car with the cop.
Yeah.
I mean, any of us at any time could have just grabbed one of those rifles, but it was just 6 of us. And we all had to go to the police station, right? It was the county lockup. And then we all had to call our parents from there. And this is like 11:30 on a Saturday night. My parents were probably wondering where the hell I was at 14.
Yeah.
I call my dad. I said, Dad, hey, you got to come pick me up, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, what if I don't pick you up? I go, I don't know. I just got to sit here. And he's just like, well, your mom will probably come get you in the morning.
Yeah.
This was on a Saturday night. My mom shows up after church the next day.
Oh, yeah.
It's about 1 o'clock on a Sunday. My mom shows up. I go, where's Dad? Oh, he's at home. The whole ride back, 35-minute ride back. I walk in. I look at my dad. He just shakes his head. He goes, disappointment is what we have. And then the next day, he's like, yeah, if you're really tough, let's put the gloves on.
Yeah.
And I learned my lesson that way about how to.
I love how your mom left you in there to rot while she went and talked to the big man himself.
Oh, she played 2 services at church. She played organ for 2 services while I was in jail that morning.
Great.
Dominique, how about the tough call you had to make to mom or dad?
Well, it wasn't even me. My sister pranked my grandma.
Oh, no. Pregnancy prank?
Yeah, so, no.
Oh, okay.
No. My 18-year-old sister called my grandma and was like, Grandma, I just got pulled over. Mind you, she has no license. So this is strike one. So she's like, Grandma, I just got pulled over by them people. And she was like, well, what you was doing? Where you was going?
Yeah.
It was like 21 questions. And then my sister was like, no, that's not even the bad part, Grandma. Look, I got this thing on me. I got this gun on me. I need you to say that it's yours. I just need you to say it's yours. My grandma was like, no, you don't. No, you do not. I'm not saying that's mine. I don't know why you riding with that. No.
Yep.
So grandma wasn't helping her out at all.
Sometimes you just got to let people just do their own thing, hang them out there to figure out how they can help themselves.
Like, if you want to prank mom and dad, I get that. But, like, you can't do that to grandma, grandpa. You never know what's going to send them over the edge. You know what I mean?
I've always loved the harmless pranks where it's like, Mom, I just wanted to call and let you know I'm pregnant. And then she's like, what? And then you're like, just kidding. I got a D in science. And then everything's fine. You know, like for a moment, she thought she was going to be a young grandma, but now all is well because she just has to get you a tutor. You know, those are like innocent calls. All right. So one of our coworkers is about to venture into a possible lawsuit with her neighbor. And she's been talking about it with her husband.
About this?
She said we could.
Okay.
And because it's not a thing yet. So we're not talking about a current case or anything like that. But we went out to lunch after a meeting last week. And she said that it's just been kind of building up. These people have not been the best to live next to. But she got one of those. She's always had like an above ground pool. But they just got a brand new one from Sam's. It's like a long one. And one of their kids was doing archery target practice.
Hit it.
And yeah, put a hole right through. And they had been out of town. They were in Duluth for like 3 days. Had no idea. All the water gone. And she's like, there's no disputing what happened. There's a huge puncture wound right behind the target where they have it set up for
they
their
won't
child.
Pay for it. They won't just say, hey, our kid screwed up your pool.
And she's like, listen, you got to take responsibility for it. I have to either teach them a lesson or whatever. And so.
But that's like a small claims court thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that can't be that expensive.
I would hope that these people would say, okay, now she's getting serious about it. Probably going to cost a little bit more than to just say sorry and take ownership of what happened.
You ever sued anyone?
No, but there was a lawsuit that was brought forth, not on my parents, but like. Okay, so we were at have you ever been to the Kelly Farm?
Yeah.
Okay, so they used to, this was back when I was, I think, 7, 8 years old, and they would show you how a true back in the day farm was run. And they had this game of baseball going, and the baseball was made out of animal skin. And then the bat was pure wood, like it was legit back in the day farm stuff. And this kid walked right in front of me as I swung the bat, cracked him in the skull. And his mom was screaming. There was blood everywhere. And I think that parent brought forth a lawsuit to
Kelly Farm.
Your
parents were probably named in it.
Maybe like this is it. But nothing happened to them. Nothing happened to my grandma who had brought us there that day. And I just remember it was terrifying. There was like blood all over this kid. And I'm like, who's not watching their kid? Like, it is your fault, lady, that you didn't have a handle on your 5-year-old that was darting in front of somebody that was swinging a bat.
I had to threaten a lawsuit against a former landlord.
Yeah.
I had one of my first radio jobs, and the guy I was leaving, right? I had gotten fired from a radio job, and I knew I was leaving. And he said, you entered into whatever, I'm not giving you your money back. And I'm like, in the contract, it clearly says if you tell us 30 days, you can get out and we get your deposit back. And so Trish at the time was working for Prince, and she had Prince's in-house legal team just write up a quick draft and put it on the letterhead. And I'm trying to remember what this guy's name was, but I remember just always being like, it ended in Esquire. And I walked it right up to my landlord and I said, listen, my wife works for Prince, and this is going to end really badly for you. And the next day when I came down to my mailbox, my deposit check was there.
Poor Prince. He
didn't even know anything about it. I'm like, that's the only muscle I could flex at the time. I was like, I was like 25 trying to get my deposit back from this guy. But I want to know, have you ever sued anyone? And if so, why?
So I believe Misty is going to be texting in just a moment. She has at one point been involved in a lawsuit and got a good amount of money.
Oh, I'm excited to hear about that. How about yours? So have you ever been sued? Have you ever sued anyone? Was it just to get money back? Did you think you were deserving of some cash influx?
I think there are some cases that are just. And, I love when Judge Judy can solve a crime
That's still a thing.
in like
She's still on.
30 seconds. She has her own show on streaming now, like she's done with just regular television, but I watch it every single day.
She still have the hair like an Olympic swimmer? It's just slicked back now?
I hate it. It's the worst. It is the worst decision this woman has ever made, but she is like very good at sniffing out who's lying and who's not.
She's got to be in her 80s by now, huh?
Oh, yeah, but she's still with it.
Misty, I appreciate your calling us back. I saw your text this morning, and you have been somebody who sued somebody, right?
Yeah. So a couple years ago, I'm gluten-free, like completely gluten-free. And I went to Denver, and I went to this restaurant, and they had a gluten-free menu, and I ordered off of it, and I got super sick because they weren't completely truthful about the cross-contamination and stuff. And so my brother-in-law is an attorney, and he told me that I should sue, and I ended up going through with that, and it was a whole thing. But I ended up coming out with $55,000.
So they had to have proven that there was cross-contamination, that there were maybe you were even served things and they knew that there was gluten in them.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what the process was, but after everything was said and done, they just cut me a check to prevent the bad publicity, and I'm happy with that.
I like it.
Can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help me? Everybody!
All right, so I want to lay the timeline out for you here real quick. We got this text from a guy, we're just going to call him Brett, a little while ago. And as we were corresponding, I thought it'd be best to pre-record this because I wasn't really sure what was going to pop up. And this was basically the conversation cleaned up a little bit in case there are little ears around. And basically, I just started by asking him if he was going to jail.
I don't think I am. I don't really think that's the case. I have a good lawyer, but I also know that what I did was on my property and my property alone.
Well, we saw your text. Tell everybody what you were doing.
It's very simple, really. So let me just start off by saying that there are studies that have proven that men become healthier when they get sun on their.
Yeah, right. I think they're calling it manning instead of tanning. Like you get sunshine on your privates.
We talked about it the other day. There are health benefits, but I don't know why that would lead you to need a lawyer.
It's what's known as a private sun soak or testicle tanning, and it can increase testosterone levels. You need some vitamin D. For the area under your D.
Right, we got it. We got all the analogies.
Why do you need a lawyer?
Yeah, why is there a lawyer involved here?
I had a kid come into my backyard, and it was the neighbor's kid, and I don't honestly know what she was doing. She's like 11 years old. She might have thrown a ball over the fence, or I don't know, just choosing to explore the area. I don't know, but she came in at a horrible time.
Yeah.
My legs. I'm a very limber person. I've been doing yoga for that reason.
She saw everything. She saw everything.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
But you said you had a fence, right? Like this is your private property. Is it one of those chain link fences, or is it like a full fence that people can't see in?
It's a full fence, but I mean, she kind of just nudged the door open, in the back, and that was honestly my fault because I honestly had taken out some trash earlier that day and forgot to
I'm going to say this is not your fault.
Yeah, so you're
at all.
I don't think it is either. You can't just walk into someone's business or, you can't just walk into someone's property like that unannounced too. Like what happened to knocking? Where's the parenting on their side?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on their side. I know what's going on my side. My balls are warm. They're nice. They're tanning.
All right. So, but obviously this young person, and I don't know if you said it was a boy or a girl, but obviously their parents they're the ones that are thinking about like pressing charges.
They're thinking about pressing charges, which again makes no sense because she came. The kid, a young girl. It's a young girl. She came into my backyard, and honestly, I think this should just be a lesson for them to be able to teach her. Like, don't walk into anything, a room, in any sort of environment without knocking first, or you might end up seeing some dude trying to get some sun under his balls.
Okay. For obvious reasons, I'm glad we pre-recorded that. I want to get your thoughts on this. Who's at fault?
Oh, man. I would love for Cassie to call in. A similar situation happened to her in her backyard.
Let's say this is you, Kat. Let's say this is your 11-year-old son, and he just walks into the neighbor's yard, and there's your 30-year-old man neighbor.
Privately doing this.
Buck naked, booty hole to the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Liam's fault, or is that guy's, your neighbor's fault?
That is my son's fault. That is my son's fault for going on someone's property, and guess what? Won't do it again.
Not too late to get your hands on $5,000 cash. It's our 5G shopping spree with Stanley Steamer, and to win $5,000, you can start by texting the word SHOP, S-H-O-P, to 320-251-1047 right now as we wrap up the podcast. Y'all have a dishwasher?
We do. His name is Derek. Just kidding. No, we have one.
When do you run it?
I think it's like right before we go to bed.
You're going to die.
Why? Why would I die from that?
They're finding out now more and more, especially after this Kansas family barely got their kids out alive, that dishwashers are malfunctioning while people are running them overnight and starting fires in their homes. So it just happened the other day. Kansas family starts the dishwasher, puts their two little kids to bed. All of a sudden, by the time they smell the smoke and the smoke alarms are going off, the fire department could barely save their house. They won't be able to get back in for 6 months because of all the soot damage.
Yeah.
They barely got the kids out in time, but they're now saying, because that's what most of us do, right? You go to bed, you run the dishwasher, it's clean in the morning, you empty it out real quick before you get there. They're
Anything and everything could kill you. And even water companies say, run your sprinkler at night to save money. Run your clothing at night in the washer, and then run your dishwasher to save money. That's probably why people are doing it.
I'm done washing dishes at night. I don't need that kind of problem.
You're just going to let them fester in their filth all night until the morning and then hit the button.
Exactly.
Okay.
While there's somebody home. I mean, that should be being done while someone's home, but they're stressing now that this is a real thing. First off, make sure all your smoke alarms work. Mm-hmm. And second of all, think about it. I mean, this isn't the first time a dishwasher has caused a fire, which is so counterintuitive because you think it's all water.
We're fine. Our smoke alarms work too well sometimes. It's like a constant reminder that I can't cook. Just even, and it talks to us. It's like, get out, fire, get out. And I'm like, we get it. It's bacon.
Your smoke alarm.
I have it under control.
Huh?
Yeah, doesn't yours?
No.
Oh, ours is fancy.
Actually, I couldn't even tell you if we just moved into a new place. So
then, of course, it works.
I'm sure they tested it when they did the walkthrough, but don't run your dishwasher at night. It could frickin' kill you.
Welcome to the Playhouse.
I'm still going to do it. You know what? My mother-in-law got Liam a rope ladder for outside his window because she's like, he's in a different part of the house than you. He has to know how to use it. So he clips it on, punches out the screen, clips. They watched a YouTube video. and then he just makes it. I
Wait
think
till
he's
he's using
waiting
that
for
to
it.
sneak out at 13.
I know.
You guys will go to bed early because
Yeah.
you got to do the radio show, and then all of a sudden you'll catch him sneaking back in right about the time you're leaving for the show in the
Where you
morning.
been, fool? Where you been?
Is that a rope ladder outside your window?
I know.
Dang. The secret movie. Now, here's how this works. Josh, I don't know if you heard last week, but we played a game called The Secret Word where
I was not
basically
the best at it.
I gave Kat a word. It was an object, and she could only say singular words to try and get somebody to get there. And after saying blow 15 times, we finally figured out that it was a harmonica. So today, the game is The Secret Movie. What's the last movie you watched?
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Ooh, was it good?
I liked it.
Yeah.
I saw it twice in theaters.
Nice. All right. So if you're a little bit of a movie buff, this shouldn't be that tough for you. Now, I will give you one clue. It's a little bit of a chick movie. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand Kat the movie. She will then have 60 seconds to give you individual words without saying any of the words in the movie title. And once, hold on. And once that has happened and you identify the movie, you win. Now, if you screw it up, everyone that texts in is going to be able to win this.
Got it?
Any questions?
Okay.
Yep.
60 seconds. Kat, remember, you can only give words that aren't in the movie title.
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead, open it up.
Okay.
It's a movie you're familiar with.
Oh, all right.
You have 60 seconds, Josh, to identify this movie. Go.
Wedding.
Wedding Crashers?
Shoes.
My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Richard.
Runaway Bride.
Oh my God,
she got it!
That's
amazing!
You know how hard it was because I
Wow.
couldn't say tennis shoes because that's 2 words. Okay. Wow.
Wow.
You are good.
You got that in 15 seconds, Josh.
I want to give you credit, but I got to give myself credit.
That was pretty
good. Okay. Give me another one. This is fun.
You want to do one more? Yeah, you want to do double or nothing, Josh?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
It is. Hold on. I got
JJ never watches movies, so it would be better if I figured out what movie. All right, he's writing something down.
All right, now I'm
we
going to
go.
give you a clue on this one, Josh. It's not Runaway Bride. Go. 60 seconds.
Castle, Gaston, Belle.
Beauty and
Oh
Beast.
my God! You guys are
Again.
amazing at this.
God, we got to take it on the road.
That was
we are good at that. Every wedding that you go to is going to be different. Some are going to be like this crazy party. Some are just going to be kind of relaxed. My cousin, this is her second wedding. Her first husband was a police officer and had a brain tumor. And then they went in and did brain surgery. He was awake the whole time. He was like one of those that played the guitar, and then they thought that he was going to be okay. And then one night, just
Aneurysm?
something happened and he died. And it was just super tragic. They had just adopted their son. And so she was at that point in life where you're like, am I ever going to meet anybody? Am I ever going to find love again? And then she did. And this guy's name is Bud, but his real name is Peter. And, they're ice
Suspect.
fishing.
That guy
and
sounds suspect to me.
he is the nicest. And I hadn't met him until this weekend. I met him on his wedding day. I was like, thanks for including us. But he had a buddy who was his best man go up and give a speech. And this guy brought all of these drinks. It was like a brown liquid in these drinks. And he said, we're going to do something that's a tradition when we ice fish in the wintertime. The last few years, all of us guys, we do a minnow shot. I've never heard of a minnow shot.
I've been part of this.
I look at my brother and I said, what's a minnow shot? He goes, look closer at the glass.
Yeah.
And there was a minnow with alcohol. I don't know how it was still moving. He must have just dropped it in. But they all stood up there. Ziggy, ziggy, ziggy. Oi, oi, oi. and just down the hatch. I was like, "Ugh, oh my God. I couldn't even. It was
I have a couple of friends that do this, and it's like tradition. If you go to their ice house, you have to do one when you walk in.
Hell no, those are not friends.
It's a trip, man. The worst is like that minnow almost dies immediately when it gets into your stomach acid. But it's still like, I'll tell you what, normally when I'm done doing business in the bathroom, I don't turn around and look.
You don't?
But for a few days after you take the minnow, you turn around and look. You wonder, what's that going to look like on the backside? I don't know, man.
It was unexpected at best.
Sometimes our caveman DNA just really starts shining through. And you're like, there has been no real evolution for the male species. I understand women have come a long way.
Yes, we have.
But guys are just sometimes.
Yeah.
It's such a bro thing, too. You know what I mean?
know.
They're all like, we're going to hang on to our bro stuff. And I'm like, if it means eating live fish, I'm just.
And you looked at the best man and you didn't expect anything other than that. You know, like he looked like. Yes, like I'm going to live in my ice castle fish house all winter long. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Found his happiness.
I get jealous of the people that just retreat for the weekend and that's what they do. And they sit and they look at a hole in the ice all weekend.
So bored doing that.
I feel like I would last a day. I think I would have fun for a day and then I'd be like, what? We're going to do it again tomorrow? No way.
The only way I can get through more than like an hour on that is if someone's got something they're passing around.
Yeah.
And then if you're listening to something funny or you're watching, some of these ice castles like are packed with satellite TVs.
Yeah.
So I get it. Like you're watching the football game or it's like Saturday afternoon and you're doing this or you're Sunday and you're watching the football game and you're having some, whatever, egg rolls that came out of the deep fryer because he's got a generator. Like, but other than that, that's tough for me, man.
I know. It was something to watch. It was the first, every wedding you go to, you could probably say that.
Anything else weird about the wedding?
No. It was at his parents' property and there was a lake behind. It was a beautiful backdrop, gorgeous weather. And it was just like there were moments of, remembering her ex. And I thought that was really important,
that's
with
odd
her
to
son
tie into
being
a
there.
wedding, right? Into your new marriage. I think that's kind of weird.
Yeah, but having it be a more mature marriage and like a second marriage, you could tell that this guy was already a great guy, that he was like, absolutely, let's remember this man that led you to me. And I thought it was just beautiful. So
it's a cool way of looking at it.